Hydrated. I'll just do it. Welcome back to Showdown 8 King Fighters, and we're right back into it. I am Minimat.
I'm Vivian.
And we have some if looks like they have already started.
Got Titan versus Athena in here.
Tallest man alive, Titan. I was so tall.
Yeah, that's pretty much the main thing that I've heard people think about him. Very big.
KOF 15. The game I'm personally incredibly hype about. I've usually been an anime guy, but this game is so compelling, so fun, so interesting. I've been really lost in this.
Yeah, I played a lot of 13. I was getting 8th at all my tournaments out of 8. I was having a great time. I'm really excited that there's a new game that's...
It's so sick. It's such an exciting game. Learning so much about KOF. Really excited to watch some KOF here.
Yeah.
Kings of Colorado on the left here. Right?
Edgar is one of our long-standing top players of this team. Getting a lot of top 3s and top 4s back in the day in 13, and I think that he's still very active. Loves the series. Really cleaning up with his Athena here. Just throwing all the cycle balls that it get away with, and then going in when he feels like it's time.
You know, very, very cool character. Cycle Ball is a projectile that a little bit slow, just slow enough, you know, for Athena to be able to move under it. Very, very good. Data. Oh, here we go.
Great combo there. Doesn't quite kill, but he gets the jump in.
Looking good for player 2.
Edgar is looking real good right now.
Yeah, he's fighting, but it's tough. Edgar's real strong. We got Ramon here.
This character is, I love this character.
He's sick, yeah. All his running, and it makes me think of all the Street Fighter characters I couldn't figure out how to play.
He's got big El Fuerte vibes.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, the Mexican wrestling thing going on, and quick, got those grabs. He's staying away pretty well, but he's not really getting in.
Body splash not connecting. Edgar is just doing such a good job of controlling space with Athena, not really giving Yulitul a chance to get their gameplay started.
That was a pretty cool moment, but
so much damage.
You can't just jump over Athena like that.
I was watching Edgar play casuals earlier, and so consistent with catching an air and jump with that super, just getting this giant life lead amount of damage from it.
Oh yeah, I think that his fundamental. I think that we had players in 13 like maybe were more consistent, big combos. And Edgar is just like such a down-to-earth player. He's playing the pace and controlling that space.
And in a game like this where fundamentals are so strong, so big, like.
And I think even more so in these early weeks, people are kind of like getting used to the game.
It's right now is time for fundamentals to get like a huge amount of reward. And we can see it here. Edgar just taking the OCB immediately. I feel
and
like
he's already just tipping him out again with the projectiles and everything.
Both of these characters very, very strong at zoning, but it just goes to show Edgar's general skill level that like in this matchup of two characters with very strong projectiles and full screen presence, just controlling the pace of the match so well.
Yeah, I think that you're seeing the kind of pressure that he's playing under. Feels like he's got to do things and getting hit for it. And I mean, that's not a knock on him. It's Edgar's playing really well.
So when you're forcing the Hydran player to feel like they need to win, you know you're doing something right.
Yep, for sure. Perfect
Nice.
DP there, and
A little bit of a punish on the roll.
oh, that dash punch follow-up is not very safe. And Edgar just takes the corner. He comes back into it, but he's still feeling pretty good, I think.
Character up, you have a lot of wiggle room. Damage. Not quite gonna kill. Life lead and taking corner. Yeah, just open
Yeah,
him
he
out
just
a little
spins
bit.
it. I take that character, get up by 2. Nothing to complain about there. He's well on his way to a double SCV here. If Yulitul can get something going.
I see that KCO name handle next to a name, and I already know this person's gonna be good at KOF. The Kings of Colorado have been our local KOFC basically forever, since time immemorial. They've been grinding whatever KOF been the most recent, and also whatever KOF they like personally. It's just such a dedicated fighter specialist.
Yep. I mean, I'm really happy that we've gotten to play with him for so long because I do think that it's one of the better scenes we have in the US.
I'm definitely thanking my lucky stars to live in Colorado when I'm trying to learn this game right now. Yeah, just one more clip with any errant normal, and Edgar's gonna take this head with the double O's. Cycle ball.
Yeah, you can see how scared he was. He just pressed a button, got hit by the chip.
And
I gotta agree with the announcer there. The competitor is too strong.
Clean match from Edgar. Showing the power of Athena.
Yeah, just so clean. Really, like, it can't point to anything that he didn't do just super well. He was hitting his DPs and supers on the anti-airs and taking his space and doing all his normals just right.
Dictating the pace of the match. KOF is definitely a game where a lot of the stuff in King of Fighters, and I'm a relatively newer KOF player, so. And Edgar staying up there and fighting Crackin Atkins. Had very, very strong performances in many games this weekend. I believe they got top 8 in BBF.
Oh, nice.
They commentated Blue with Crackin Atkins in a lot of work both on and off the mic this event.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't been to many events in the past couple of years, obviously. And I mean, the one that I went to last summer, but a bunch of X-Raid players I hadn't met before. I'm realizing just how many people in the scene are still showing up newly. Like,
yeah, fighting games.
It stands out almost more than ever.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, wow, like people are grinding hard through everything that's happened.
And like in a way, I think people have leveled up a lot in an environment where like a lab and a bunch of matches with various people, not from your are your only options. Like, in some senses might have just gotten stronger being forced into this situation where you have to net play, so you have to play against other people that you're not comfortable with. And, well, you gotta lab more because that's all you got because locals haven't been happening.
Well, and I think that
We've
you
seen
see
people
that
come
too.
back stronger rather than weaker, which is what you might have expected from like a couple years of IRL tournament hiatus.
Right, because I mean, it is, you know, about that dedication and sticking with it even through like a time where it's not just like, oh, I'll go out for a few hours on Friday night and play people.
That's an excellent point too. The people that are coming back are the ones who are really dedicated, like who are willing to the things they needed to do for the last couple of years and be ready to come back.
Yeah.
Crackin Atkins, My Dolores, and Kula.
Kula,
Dolores, new character in this game. Very, very cool. I love Dolores's
The
gameplay.
Mudmans.
Very cool design. A little Mini Eddie, Muddy Eddie.
Yeah, Muddy Eddie.
Mini Eddie is the Rushdown one. Muddy Eddie is the zoning one. They hang out on the weekends.
Love it.
Select stage.
Yeah, so we'll see if we get to see some other characters from Edgar as well. Obviously, he didn't have to play anybody but Athena last match.
I'm very excited to see how this goes.
Yeah.
About to be a party up in
He has Yashiro and Ralph. Ralph sitting in the back. Ralph is the character concerned about du jour right now. I've heard a lot of people who know a lot more about this game than I do saying they think Ralph is unequivocally the best.
Yeah, I think that he has like less flaws than he did in 13. It was kind of hard for him to get things going.
ready.
He just has very strong normals. He's got some great damage.
5 feet, the legendary foot, the stankiest leg of all time.
But we'll see if he comes on screen. We got Kula versus Athena here, and we can see Crackin Atkins using reflect from Kula to try and neutralize that fireball advantage a bit more than last game's fireball will.
And doing a good job of it here, taking the life lead. And you know, a character with strong zoning like Athena can force the life lead, force them to have to move on you, change the paradigm quite a bit.
And I do like that Crackin Atkins is playing very patient. Not just trying to rush down. I think Kula's a bit more of an offensive character, but he's recognizing that he can try to react to some of Edgar's moves here.
Yeah, you know, he has the life lead, kind of dictate the pace of the match. Ooh, big commitment on the EXTP. But
Edgar
able
doesn't
to
get it
still leverage the
confirmed.
situation. Yeah, it was so far away. KOF, you know, from my limited experience so far, has a lot of situations like that where you can end up doing a reversal or a big commitment, but it just moves so far that it's hard to get the big punish that you want.
Yep. No, I mean, that's a big thing even for Kula and K-Dash, for example. They have these, especially in 13, just carried you so far away that if people weren't ready for them, they might not punish even if they blocked it.
Speaking of which, what a read on that reversal, getting just enough damage in order to get the timeout. That was such a good call by Edgar.
Yeah, I think that he was noticing the clock a little bit sooner and really just
And turtled up for the last couple of seconds.
kind of steals one away, but I really like that. That's a great move from an experienced player.
Yeah, really make or break. Here we got Dolores, new characters. He's a much more of a dedicated zoner in a lot of ways. Has these nifty teleports, has a juggle anywhere, anti-air move. Looks like Crackin Atkins is not wanting to commit too much to those seismo pillars there.
Yeah, I think that he might be a little bit worried about getting trades against a character that's already, you know, defeated the last 7 in a row.
Something
But,
like that happening, always a concern. Edgar right now is just trying to get as much damage as possible here with what's left with Athena. Good
Great
anti-air.
anti-air, yeah.
Two wastes no time, evening the score.
Dolores has the best win pose. 3. On to the next character.
Round
The life you get back is based on the timer, right? Like, if you can,
Yeah, there's tiers.
I think 30 seconds is the big break point.
Yeah, it goes down a lot around that point. So Yashiro is a pretty rushed-on character. He's the brawler. One
He
of
is
the outstanding ones of the game so far.
super armor, a command overhead, some dashes. Raw max mode activated.
Yeah, I think that he's just trying to make some space against rush down.
Scary to jump in on Dolores. When she has this, she can do like the juggle anywhere anti-air move, turn it into a big super cash out. But Edgar is able to wait out the max mode long enough. Does end up in the corner though, but forcing his way out as we see.
Yeah, and they're both just kind of brawling right now. He's not throwing. Atkins is not throwing many projectiles or like, sizos out in this game. I think that he's a little scared of trying to zone and getting blown out for a bad read. But that's just what's happening right now.
Yeah, they did the jumping normal, but so early in the jump that even though Edgar got hit, he was able to punish it and cash out for a huge amount of damage. Now with 15 seconds on the clock, Crackin Atkins going to need to get that life lead back to not get timed out. Edgar does move in though, and the life bars are so close.
Yeah,
right
I think they're so close. Both players might feel this pressure in this round.
Big commitment.
Now, Edgar's got to try to win this one, but he can't.
Kill with the guard cancel. Just wants to make sure that when that timer ends, Crackin
Yeah,
Atkins
he gets
is the
a
one with
little
the
bit of life.
character.
That Edgar.
You know, if you can get any more meter, force Edgar to spend any meter as Ralph, that's kind of a huge thing. Like, if you can get any of the bars off of this character before he can get to that mythical level 3 point, that's kind of a victory in and of itself.
Yep. Oh, and he's doing a great job of zoning Ralph here. I think that he's probably seen more of Ralph than Hero based on what we're seeing.
Yeah, Ralph has a very straightforward game plan, a press with incredible buttons, amazing frame data, but just because it's straightforward doesn't mean it's easy to deal with.
Yep. I mean, straightforward because he doesn't have to reach deep into his pocket of tricks to win a lot of the time.
No, it's rock, paper, scissors, I cast fist. You don't have to guess right when your answer is right. Power of frames.
Hoping he gets rid of the fan. I mean, Mai's kind of tricky character. She's got some, unique tools and also, projectile games. She can run away. She can try to get into some shenanigans.
there was a big commitment. Like, Ralph Fardy into max mode, if it succeeds, is just an unreasonable amount of damage. From so far away from such a good button, it was blocked, and now both of the characters on screen here don't really have that much meter, don't have enough to cause instant blowout off of any hit, so we are going to see a bit more neutral game here. Scary stuff. Even with the life lead, Crackin Atkins has to be afraid of Ralph performing a Ralph maneuver.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And it's happening. The Ralph situation. Suddenly, health is even. Suddenly, Edgar's at the lead. They missed the cancel.
Can he get the good punch here?
Not
too
enough
bad, but
damage.
he's gonna have to do more. One more hit.
Edgar is ahead. 9 on the clock.
Oh, the
This is
knee
it.
drop. That was a wild move, but it really worked.
Blocks the overhead. Crackin Atkins was ready for the Hail Mary flip kick. They're going to go up 1-0. What a close match.
That was as close as it gets. We had, you know, one timeout, one very near timeout, and another one that went the distance at the end there.
Member selection.
Both players really playing patient. I mean, I think that, you know, it's probably pretty deep in the bracket for both of them. I didn't see it, but I think this is
All these players
a serious
very,
match.
very strong. Like, as we were talking about earlier, Crackin Atkins getting top 8 in another game. Like, and you know, from the commentary I did with them, they were very analytical. They really knew what they were talking about with Granblue. They just struck me as the type of player to get very involved and understand the games they're playing. So I'm not surprised they were able to take that first game against such a strong player as Edgar. But it was close. It was very close. Edgar has moved on to a slightly different team, placing Yashiro with Chris.
Putting
This
him
is
in
a
the
benefit of
slot.
being like a legacy player with a lot of experience. And especially in a game like this, where like a lot of the good things you can do are system level stuff.
Yeah, no, he feels ready to make this switch.
I think in a team game it would be really hard to have more than 3 characters, but I swear, legacy KOF players just play everyone. And play everyone, you know, at a pretty good level. I'm always just stunned to see how strong a strong KOF player is, just anyone that they feel like picking on the character select screen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that there's a few characters, especially in this game, not so much. We're a little bit on the unique side. You have characters like Angel, who don't have particularly normal inputs, but you know, they're still playing KOF. They have game plans that are not too different. They just, you know, have some elements.
Like short hop is still going to be real good. There's still the legendary KOF zone, kind of that rectangle in the middle of the screen where you play RPS with short hops over sweeps, over jabs, etc., etc.
Yep.
But Crackin Atkins looks like they're feeling very confident against Edgar's patterns here with Athena. Taking a quick character one. Not before the 30-second timer, so they're not going to get like too much health back. But they're still ahead of character, and Ralph is coming out second here. Chris is being saved for the anchor. Chris is a very strong character in this game, very tricky, fast-paced, can spend meter really efficiently, put you in a lot of like, you know, Chris can put you in a situation on a day.
Yep. But I mean, he's showing the strength of Ralph here right now. Even though he's getting hit, he's just getting those pokes out.
A steep foot.
And you can see how much damage it's doing, even single hits.
Oh, scary, he
neutral.
hurts.
Dump CD finishes it. I mean, he took a lot of damage that run. You can see he wasn't landing combos. He was just, you know, dumping up in neutral and swinging with his big legs.
The power of those giant legs, those giant shoes, and that was a fast one, so a lot of the health came back. But look at all that meter on both characters' sides. This is the terror radius, where one errant hit into the right confirm will just do such an unbelievable amount of damage.
Yeah, this could be a very explosive round that we haven't seen yet in this set.
Every time I see a hit, it's
Yeah, I
just
just
so
wonder-
scary.
It's gonna pop into something big.
Ooh, this could be huge. Dolores gets quite a bit in that. To save some of the meter, and I respect it. You know, Dolores is a very, very strong character. Her range has good projectiles, And that's like the type of character that can keep Ralph in check.
Yeah, I suspect that Crackin Atkins is seeing, you know, how little life Ralph has in this round and is not wanting to spend heavily on resources to try and finish it when those resources can be saved for the next match, or the next round, rather.
Yeah, definitely, especially because
but he might eat a real loss here for that, yeah.
No, the foot was not long enough. But Ralph does not understand the concept of not long enough. And that C is going to...
So now we might see some of those explosive runs in the final round. It seems like they might be saving up for a decisive win in this last round after, you know, Ralph presumably will not carry this in one hit, although it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, but Mai gonna get that quick round going to round 3 with 5 bars.
That stand C is just one of my favorite moves. I love that move from Mai. It's so good at catching those jumps and everything.
That big old pizza cutter right above her head.
Even in 13, where she was not considered a particularly strong character, I feel like that was a very strong move.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just one of those buttons. There's always like one or two things in like any game where even the weak characters have these tools that are just, yeah, this character, you know, oh, they suck, but I hate this button, that sort of thing. This is, like, I really like the long-term decision from Crackin Atkins to try to save that meter during that Dolores situation because, you know, they haven't played against Edgar's Chris yet. They don't know, like, is this character going to be a huge problem? I probably want all the meter. I played against Ralph. I know what their Ralph is doing, what is their Chris doing? The answer is this. Black. Look at that damage.
He does live, though. He's got one more chance with all his meter.
Guard cancel out. Does not want to be in a situation on the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you don't think you need more meters, go for that. And you don't want to just block until you die. That's not a way to win.
That's no way to live.
Alright, you still got one more max mode here. Canceling, try to go for, but it's
you can
looking
tell
pretty
Edgar
rough.
knows it, playing real patient around that.
And I think in a moment we might see Edgar just run away here. But
10 seconds left. You're totally right. They do not want to, you know, their big lose condition here is overextending and taking too much damage. As long as they just not let Crackin Atkins get away with anything, they can just let the timer be their best friend. Oh my god!
It's so close, but yeah.
Oh, I almost had a heart attack. That was so stressful.
Atkins did not have enough meter left to finish it out with that hit. But yeah, I mean, Edgar just really showing off the power of timeouts in this set.
Yeah, that
you might not get much health back, but you just gotta win sometimes.
All that matters at the end of the round is that you're the one with a character on that victory screen. Chris looking at you with that big ol' eyes. That's all that Edgar wanted to see. Are we just going straight back into it?
I didn't see how I got pressed, but I'm assuming this long load screen isn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Round 1. Ready? Go!
Into game 3. That character swap really paid off for Edgar.
Sure did. I think that Crackin Atkins, you can see him be getting a little more aggressive at the start of this round.
The big thing was landing that huge, enormous Chris combo, that 80% life blowout combo that kind of carried that last round there for Edgar.
Yep, and I mean, that's always been the threat. I think that KOF is a team game, and part of that is, you know, taking on those threats and being like, I'm going to kill this character.
Yeah.
Whether that's the last character or, you know, some of those game plans where you're just like, I'm going to set play with on the first character matchup, and then when I get to the second one, I'm just going to blow them out with a big combo.
Or even if, you know, you're playing against a player and one of their characters is giving you so much trouble. Like, that's the character you just want off the screen now. Sometimes you just cash out that meter early, delete them from the universe.
Yep, it's a really different dynamic than a lot of games.
It's
sure.
so cool. It's so cool.
And Edgar is successful at really getting in this time and winning the round with a pretty good amount of health and meter left.
That's going to be really big because they won the last set, you know, off the back foot. With Athena getting flipped pretty quickly. Now they're in a similar situation, but they're the one with the character up. So Edgar's got to be feeling pretty confident right now.
Yeah. But Dolores getting things going here. A nice little combo almost takes her out. And he's really just going to get one more hit.
Dolores is one of those characters that does like a lot of damage with a little bit of meter.
Yeah, you can see him playing very efficient. It's going to be pretty even. You can see the meter's about the same. By far, is going to be basically the same going into round 3.
Edgar is going to get that free government-mandated donation meter for their next characters. They are going to go up a little bit on the meter side. That does bring Ralph kind of to that, the danger zone where you get clipped by a Ralph boot. He flashes pink for a second, and then you consider what you want to do with your next character.
Yep. But we'll see. I mean, Crackin Atkins is not crumbled. He's taken a couple of hits into big damage, but he's definitely fighting it out really well overall. It's been a very close set.
Absolutely. I have no predictions over who's going to take this. It's just going to come down to makes, and I know this is very much a say nothing sentence, but whoever makes the right decision at the right time, that's what's going to do it.
Yeah, I think that you're seeing Crackin Atkins play very, he's not trying to save it for one big hit. He is going for those kind of medium damage combos we're talking about.
It's really good. One thing with my limited understanding of the game that I have been told is that what makes a very good middle character on a team is someone who just gets a lot from a couple EXs in a combo. Like, they use the meter they got from character 1 really well, but don't need to dump all of it. And Dolores very much fits the bill there.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. I think early in 13, for example, you saw Hua Jai. He was getting just incredible damage that was also meter positive.
Whoa, what was that trade? That was like a sweep trading with a jab or something?
So, I mean, yeah, playing that sort of like mid-paced game where you want to cash out for solid damage, but not just like blow everything to win the round right away. It's a good way to approach it. Now we have the Anchor Mai coming in here. We'll see if Crackin Atkins has, a big damage combo coming out for
let's
him.
go. We're about to see. Oh, what a big drop, and with the max mode activate, that's a meter deficit. But Ralph is out of the picture. They're going to have Mai with pretty much all of her health, maybe even all of it. That was 10 seconds. And Chris coming in with a lot more meter.
I think she'll just be a little under full. I know she's full up. So, I mean, Chris has the meter advantage, and we saw how scary Edgar is with that meter.
Edgar, very, very good at converting into that full sequence with Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, he was a big 13 player, and I think that going into those max mode combos is a bit easier in this game. It's not quite as daunting. So it's very scary to be in this situation, and especially as he's continuing to spin meter to get Chris away from him.
And Chris is such an aggressive character, such good rush down, and being in against Mai, who, kind of wants to keep out a little bit, gotta be scary for Crackin Atkins, but they are able to get back to neutral.
They got a bit of a life lead in terms of literal numbers, but doesn't really have the same threat that Chris is showing right now for Edgar.
Oh no, they got the connection, and this is gonna be it. That combo's so clean and stable. They missed the cash out.
But it's still just one hit away, and now Mai's got to do a lot of work here and run away.
Only 22 seconds on the clock as well.
That's another thread that Edgar can just pull out, because Mai can't get in that quickly either. But it looks like he's going for kind of the chip kill at this point, where even if Crackin Atkins blocks, Edgar can take it.
Full hot pressure, dead angle out. The
air throw finally represents that option. It's one of Mai's strongest tools in this game because it's not very common.
And the trade, Edgar, with 5% life on the trade, takes the set, the closest set I have seen in a long time.
That could not have been any closer without literally just ending with a double down.
Yeah.
Which I would have screamed, man. That
game is nothing if not hype. There's a Tekken situation going on in the crowd.
I can see it's pretty rowdy. I love it. I mean, I think all the scenes here, everybody does this here because they love the game. I've seen people, screaming at the third strike cabinets at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Just how we roll here at Aki.
Well, Colorado is a state full of what the professional scientists at NASA refer to as loud boys. Very, very excitable, people in the Colorado FGC. It makes local events so hype.
I mean, this is great because, like, at the end of the day, it's still chill. You know, everybody here is just like friends, and we all want to play the game and have a good time together. But like, part of that is just getting real riled up about everything.
Yeah. Getting rowdy, having a good time. You know, get those endorphins running. But it looks like we're moving back from Tekken land into the land we know and love, KOF 15. 2 players up on stage. One thing I really, really like about KOF, that because there are teams of 3, you know, there are the very strong characters that a lot of people play. You know, you have your Terrys, you have your Ralphs, you have your Vanessas, you have your Joe Higashi. But you see so much character diversity in a game like this, because
Oh yeah, I mean, that's like the old joke is like, you know, you pick a character you like, a character that you think is strong, and then you pick Iori or something. Or maybe not Iori in this game. He's pretty good, but he's not like...
In this game, that slot probably goes to like Terry or Ralph.
Yeah, he's not the go-to, like, fill a spot on your team with a good character. I mean, yeah, it's sort of like Marvel. You can pick one character you like, and then you pick 2 really good characters to round out a team or whatever. Like,
Ash Crimson, love that guy.
You don't have to play like a full meta team, and I think that there's advantages to playing matchups that people are not going to be as familiar with.
And like, beauty KOF is like, I just listed the Twitter antagonist characters. None of them are on the screen here.
Yep.
Nothing will stop this show.
Yeah, Long I have not seen much in this game. I know that she was one of the big characters in 14. Plenty of people mess with. But
definitely got those huge long range kicks, pretty good conversions, good damage with a little bit of meter. I've seen people mostly playing her either on point or mid.
yeah, that makes sense. I think that yeah, she's got kind of strong fundamentals and a little hard to challenge, but maybe not the most threatening anchor in the game. The Trojan already trying to poke out against this Mai here. It's some mixed success. That one works, and now he's got the corner here.
Nice roll out of the corner. We've returned to neutral.
We have, you know, KaniBalito playing a very, like, storied KOF team. Mai, Kula, and Iori here.
3 extremely OG characters at this point. No Luong, Ash, Shermie.
A bit of a mixture, you know, you got the recent characters and Shermie, who's not always been very consistent in the series, but pretty popular, I think.
You know, Ash, you know, got deleted from the universe. Just got better very recently.
Yep. Got a very close round here so far. There's a lot of scrambling, and I think nobody wants to invest too heavily. Just feel it out instead.
Yeah, a lot of trading blows. As you said, feeling each other out. Trying to get an idea of what the other person is doing. Which is, you know, often the role of the point character on round 1.
Yeah. I think Mai's very good at that. She can play a slow game, but she can pull out some shenanigans and just see how it's going.
Ash pick second, very, very interesting because a lot of what people are posting about, talking about Ash right now is just how explosive this character is when they have 3 to 5 meters. Tag you with a light kick, pop Green Man super, and remove you from this plane of existence.
Yeah, and I feel like he was a bit more well-rounded in this game, though. I think that, you know, that was a difficult super to use at 13. It kind of put your game time at advantage, because giving them so much meter and spending so much time.
Yeah, and it's scaled so much in previous games, but now you just get quite a bit of damage. Basically, no matter what, if you can combo into that super.
But KaniBalito is doing a really good job of chasing all these rolls and knockdowns. Really spaced so well with that 5B on Kula as well.
Yeah, punishing the roll there, controlling space. They feel throwing the roll. They feel very, very comfortable in this matchup. They've taken just such a huge life lead already. This may potentially kill if the combo completes. And they're going to take Trojan down to their last character with basically a full health bar on Kula and with Iori waiting in the wings.
I mean, yeah, Kula's neutral has just been so strong in many games. And
Grab
at
reset.
5K, it's kind of like a jab that goes even further almost.
Oh, nice conversion there. Spending meter, getting health. Corner situation.
This is the sort of thing that doesn't always lead into huge damage, but can be very hard to challenge.
Tries to use the snowman. Ula's new move. So a little bit of an awkward move. Gets the max mode conversion.
All right, goes into a nice little cover here. Oh, he's getting all the damage from it.
Meters spent. 5 suplexes.
And that combo re-corners Kula. Very good choice from Trojan there.
Getting a lot of life from Jeremy, but here's this max mode activation. If this combo finishes, it may very well just kill here. Not quite enough damage,
Can't
but
quite follow up, but yeah,
the
that'll do
rising
it.
JC.
This is just
KD
the start
maybe.
of a new worldwide
Got a coin flip chance of getting it right.
Yeah, I didn't see which move that was, but
Yeah, Kula does have that, like, you know, rising instant overhead, that sort of thing that's very, very, very strong when you're at that sort of life total.
yeah, very much so. I think that, you know, you see a lot of situations in this game where the combo doesn't quite kill, especially so early. But then it's just like, you know, you just got to get one more hit, and it's something that's not the most reliable or easy to convert off of. You just got to get that one tag.
And when you're in that specific situation, something like that is disproportionately good, but it usually is. As it turns out, when you're at enough life that the instant overhead kills you on the spot, it does not matter that combo afterwards.
Yep. Got to block it, but it's not very easy.
Clark coming out to play. Clark pretty sick in this game, has that big, big command grab, armor, large enough to kind of catch rolls, try to roll away on wake up, he'll still scoop up.
Yep, I mean, he was somewhat infamous in 13. I think he was kind of like, you know, an A-tier type character with some weaknesses, but, you know, he was just so hard to get away from sometimes with his two alternating grabs. And you know, he could get big damage off him. I haven't seen him too much in this game so far, but
Yeah, he's a little overshadowed by Ralph, I think. They both have kind of like, no, they both have that lariat. They're kind of a pair aesthetically, right?
Yeah, very
in the
much
story. So it's not surprising that a lot of people, you know, if they want to play Ralph or Clark, they just pick Ralph.
because he's top, yeah. And it's funny because I was just seeing an old interview the other day about how Ralph and Clark are almost going to be just like clone characters in the original KOF when they debuted. And somebody higher up at the company was like, no, you should make them different, even though that wasn't very true to the Akari Warriors game. And I mean, I think that was a great choice in the long run. We got, you know, the big man with his, you know, little mushroom clubs and stuff, and the grab man who really couldn't get much going this round.
Yeah, unfortunately,
just
Clark.
smothering that character.
They got a good command grab at the start, but then KaniBalito just able to run their game plan with Mai so effectively. And Ash coming in with 2 meters is kind of awkward because this character really does want to have 3.
I mean, I think that he's going to try to play a kind of patient zone and game to get something that he can work with, but I think that KaniBalito is recognizing that and really just trying to keep the corner where he can't do it. So, too late. Well, see, he's got the 3 now.
Nice blowback. That's so much damage.
And it's what a conversion. That combo just kept going and going.
A lot of characters can do something like this in this game where if they catch you with the blowback in the corner, they've just canceled it into the fireball anyway. Block it, they're safer plus. But if they hit you, they just get the full conversion because the fireball kind of hits late.
And also just such a strong punish on that roll from KaniBalito takes the round.
Yeah, they're looking real good right now. They might be rolling into an OCB here.
Trojan gets that rollback cancel that I think that he didn't want. But I feel like you might get a little bit of something going here, but great combo again from KaniBalito. Puts it back in the corner and catches the jump out with the air throw options.
Oh, counter hit gets the conversion there too. KaniBalito going off the Mai.
Yeah, just making that character look so strong. And I think that, like, especially right there at the end, And he called the jump out, but it was also just like a hop that would have, you know, made him block on the ground again even if he hadn't jumped out.
Right.
So,
like, KOF is a game that it's often talked about the RPS. That's something, you know, as a newer player, I'm asking a lot of people for a lot of advice. And a thing you hear about a lot is the mythical RPS triangle of KOF, where if you do a sweep, it kind of gets beaten by a hop into a button. Do a hop into a button, it gets beaten by a jab. And if you do a jab, it gets beaten by a sweep. And so having something like that, where like you can kind of option select with an air button and maybe you know, tip that scale in your favor, even just a little bit,
yeah,
very, very valuable.
Yeah, no, I think that it's kind of an understated aspect of the character in games where she's not considered strong, and I think nice little trick to have up your sleeve, and you're just really showing off like the versatility of this character. Playing the fireball game fine against Ash, and
it's kind of an all-rounder, you know?
But then also just, you know, cleaning up, not Kula, but yeah, Ralph.
She does a lot of damage, too.
Yeah, no, he's getting great conversions, like really showing off that character. It's a clinic for Mai, for sure.
It seems like Mai kind of lives in the best of both worlds. She does have those, I only spent 2 EXs and I did like 50% life combos, and also the I want to cash out and I did 1 billion damage. Very, very good stuff.
Yeah, I feel that it's much easier to get the combo conversions in this game with her. She had only a couple routes that really went to max cancels. And in this game, you know, you have more of those threats.
We're rolling right back into it here. Ash, Athena, Idern, and King.
So we're gonna have a big fireball game.
Yeah, everyone has access to a very, very strong fireball, except maybe Kula, who has access to the anti-fireball.
Yeah, she has access to the other characters' fireballs from being Kula, so. Okay.
Nothing will stop this show.
So both of them are gonna get started here, putting out Kula versus Athena. We actually saw this earlier.
Yeah, we did. That matchup went both ways. That was a very close match between the characters. C has the advantage in this.
Round 1.
One thing I do, like, as a Guilty Gear player, one thing I like a lot about KOF, that I feel this game does let you express yourself through the character. Like, you know, some modern games, the criticism that people have of a little bit of the way modern games are designed is a lot of tools are hammers that are looking for a nail. Like, they do, it is the anti-air button, and you use it to anti-air, right? And that is what it does. KOF does not feel that way to me.
Yeah, I feel that there's a very fluid pace, and it's, you know, you kind of adapt it to how you feel about the game, whether that's, you know, more of a runaway style or a press down heavy style, or just throwing out your big pokes and trying to stop people from running at you too much.
Speaking of that, Kula's doing such a good job of controlling the pace against Athena.
Yeah, just holding this corner. Oh, a great
Nice
roll cancel out, though.
roll.
That combo looks like it'll probably do it.
Big damage there. It looks like they're going to go up one character. Great start. It was also fairly fast, too, so Kula's going to have a lot of health here. Nice stuff. Immediate round start. Jump over the fireball. The little KOF trick of pressing the air button. A little early to shrink your jumping hurt box. Get over it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Deus is not even, like, waiting to do the counter fireballs in this matchup. Is going in and trying to put Gelato under pressure.
They're doing such a good job of just keeping the pace of the match very, very close, not letting them have the room. Get set up, do fireball wars, but as I say it,
Gelato finally gets the full screen and is starting to get a game.
Oh, nice hop. We're going to get so much damage here. We're going to get all the damage here. They just want this character off the screen.
I think it's a good call. I mean, you're on your first character. You got a lot of meter to gain just from even losing characters before it's the final characters matchup.
Yeah, like, even in the situation where Gelato, you know, just murks Kula and then spends all of the meters to kill Ash.
It's still going to be a disadvantage if that happens.
Yeah, Athena's going to come out with a 2 meters minimum, just the 2 poverty meters. There's nothing you can do about him showing up here. So Gelato is in a very, very difficult situation.
Kula putting on so much pressure as to get the guard crush there. Doesn't get a huge punish combo because of the meter situation or everything else, but really looking good in this third round of the game, even as King is looking like he might take this game for Deus here.
Are we going to see the OCV? One more hit, goes for the empty hop, low, but gets grabbed for their troubles. Now, from what I understand, that's one of the big differences in this KOF and older versions, is that it has Guilty Gear style pseudo quote-unquote zero-frame grabs, where if you wake up, you can grab people out of active moves.
Yeah, I think that's true. I believe that grabs were quite strong in 13, but fast, but they were not like...
They're not like Guilty Gear
so fast
grabs.
as to beat things easily. A lot of finding themselves having to really rush down this Ash is not a very easy prospect. It's quite scary.
Ash
Given
is
the
super
life
guile.
deficit and the flash kick, Deus is just able to patiently wait it out, and
The goddess of victory.
They were in such control this entire set.
yeah, for sure.
And member selection from Gelato, you know, I respect it. After a match like that, sometimes it feels like, all right, I got pretty shut out. I might want to go to character select. Oh, were their buttons wrong? Uh-oh. Well,
That is unfortunate if that's part of what happened.
oh no, but you
If
know,
they can get them fixed up for this game, we might see some different outcomes.
Jeremy. What was their mid character before Shermie? Oh, it was a different point.
Yeah, no, I think
Oh, it was Athena, right. It was Athena Hydern King. Now we have Shermie Hydern King.
so taking a bit more of an aggressive tack this time, rather than
I respect it.
Yeah,
They saw that, you know, the zoning thing didn't work. I was not able to get my game plan going with Athena.
yep.
Let's try Shermie. Also, the button thing probably going to be a big deal.
So we can hope that we'll see a bit more closer match here.
Grab. Oh, that was the that's the ground to air grab? H version.
I think so.
Threw me a character with a lot of interesting, tricky command grabs.
Yeah, I mean, it's KOF, you can combo with a bunch of others, but they're also like very threatening raw.
But Deus, they still look like they're in.
Yeah, I mean, if your opponent's not challenging you, go for the jumping kicks. Yeah.
If you feel like you have your opponent scared, that's when you get to start doing stuff like that. A game where, and this is something I've only like sort of started to realize in my journey KOF understanding. A lot of stuff isn't super plus, and it's hard to establish super strong pressure until you have your opponent scared. Yeah. You earn the right to do stuff like that, to pressure your opponent by, you know, counter hitting them enough, doing stuff like this, getting the big damage when they attempt to try to poke out. And that's when you're allowed to start running your actual pressure game. It's such an interesting pace that feels very, very different from a lot of other games.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just passing out one time there, taking out a half of health in one hydrants.
On the
I mean,
way
yeah.
to an OCV with Kula once again.
You very much see people doing things in this game that are not, you know, unbeat. Not like that you can't challenge an attack or anything, or it's just that it's really scary sometimes, and don't act. And
It's a reading your opponent, you know, conditioning, making the right choices at the right time are so huge. In other games, you can just to pick a random example, you can pick a character like Soul Bad Guy who has a button that's tremendously plus and moves him forward and kind of loops the situation over and over, and just the oppressive nature of the tool can keep your opponent in check. That's not always the case in KOF. Many times, what a good anti-air. OCV Deus. They controlled the pace of the match so well from beginning to end.
And I think that's a point that really like carries across a lot of the sets that we've seen, is that like, you know, the players aren't doing things that are, you know, super powerful necessarily all the time. Players who are winning a lot of matches are the ones who are really leaning into the flow of the game and able to control that in their favor in different ways. It's not always just like, oh, I'm going to win this game by jumping at you over and over. Seeing players run away really successfully and throw fireballs, and other players rush down or play just kind of that footsies game with the big pokes. It's so much variety in how people are approaching things.
And it really just rewards a deeper understanding of both the game, but of making those in-the-moment reads on how this particular opponent is playing. Like against some people, you can just hop CD against them 5 times in a row, but you can only know that if you're really paying attention, you really understand your options in the game, and I think that's something that's very, very cool about KOF.
Yeah, I love it. I'm loving seeing the character variety we've seen so far. A lot of characters to love in KOF, obviously. And
this is a legendary Colorado match.
yeah, we have Devello, who lived in Colorado for many years during the early days of KOF 13, and he was in Mexico, but it's always
New
coming up for the
Mexico-ism
big
shirt.
tournaments. And of course, Lapis, Pedro are
Just legendary KOF player.
he is,
Top 8 player.
Colorado's KOF master. Sure.
Like many top 8s and tournament wins out of state and majors. Just incredible player. One of the key top KOF players, not just in the state, but
In the
incredibly
country,
strong
easily.
in the country. Yeah. So these are 2 very seasoned players who have a lot of history in Colorado. Very good at the game. Have played each other many times before.
It's one to watch.
Yeah, this is a
And
match that I'm super excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, whatever Pedro does, it's got to be pretty friggin' good. That's what I think.
Yeah. Looks like getting just the button check.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's something like it.
Both players literally looking away from the screen. That's the big button check indicator to me. Pedro standing up. It may still be a match, but I think Pedro standing up and getting out of the seat kind of implies a button check. And what we are getting from the voice in the sky is that there have been some lag issues from the sides of the players. We were kind of seeing it a bit, but I wasn't sure if that was stream or if that was the game. And, if you don't know, you don't open your mouth. But it turns out it was affecting the players. And so we're going to be swapping the stream setup to a PS4 Pro, reduce some lag issues. So for the moment, we are going to get that done as soon as possible. We can get some nice KOF back on screen for you.
Somebody's knocking over a light over here.
Yeah, some things are happening. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I mean, I think that we're seeing today is one of those great examples of no plan survives contact with. Okay.
Yeah. You can't predict everything. Sometimes
You plan things so that you have a baseline to start working from when things don't work.
if nothing else, we hyped up this particular match so much. I'm glad that they're both saying,
Yeah, let's
I
get
want to
it
play
going
this
on
in
the
the
good
best
stuff.
possible conditions, right?
Yeah.
I don't want any Johns, as they say.
John's and KOF. Never heard of that, but I'm sure that somebody's tried it. John King of Fighters, my favorite.
John King of Fighters, the inventor of King of Fighters. They invented the short hop. Discovered it in the laboratory under a microscope.
Well, I mean, that's the old story, is that they made On Hell because there was some South American dev team who money matched them, and they're like, we want a character in KOF. And also get our game published on Neo Geo or something. And they beat, the KOF devs, and they had to make a character for South America.
Wait, is that real?
That's what I've heard, is that, yeah, there was some kind of bizarre, agreement in a money match. The American guys wanted, to publish some game without paying, a huge fee. And so there was a money match. And part of their winnings was not just getting the game published, but also, getting a KOF.
That's kind of godlike. There's so many stories like that surrounding SNK games. The only other one I know that's pretty popularized at this point is about a Terry Bogard, one of the main devs whose name always escapes me because I'm terrible with names. But they were at, I think it was literally Splash Mountain, and they got bodied. They got absolutely soaked by Splash Mountain, and they got off soaking wet, shivering in the cold, and a young American boy walked up to him and said, "Are you okay?" And he thought it was so funny that he made Terry Bogard say it before doing Buster Wolf. And that's from what
why
I
we have
understand.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and that's why Super Smash Brothers exists, because a small lad said, "Are you okay?" to a game dev who thought it was so funny that it became Terry Bogard's iconic line.
SNK in the 90s really does sound like chaos mode. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's incredible stuff. Really, if you think about it, Splash Mountain is responsible for Fox McCloud having a one-frame jump cancelable shine. And you know that it sounds like a crazy thing I just said, and it definitely is, but you can like almost argue that it's true. You can get close enough to a convincing argument to really annoy somebody.
I'm pretty sure that I've seen a Domino's meme of this. Like,
A trip down Splash Mountain goes wrong. Hungry Box
Japanese
zones
man,
out
yeah.
somebody for 15 minutes in tournament grand finals.
indeed.
So it looks like we've got the system reset up. We have Pedro and Chevello back up here. Chevello about to like get in. I think this is a side bet.
I think somebody hit training mode. I'm not quite sure. I think they might be.
They're
doing
testing the
some
lag
chat,
probably,
yeah.
I would imagine. Wait, I think they were side betting on the Tekken match that's happening right now.
Oh,
I think
okay, that's very believable. I know
that's
that.
incredible. Our KOF competitors are currently.
I mean, Savello is a big Tekken guy these days too. It makes sense to me.
Unless this is like something that's maybe, I don't know gambling laws, so if this isn't legal, that's definitely not what's happening. That's only what's happening if it's cool and good and fine. If it's not, this is just a joke we're making up in commentary.
I mean, we gotta fill the time, you know.
So, this is an option select. Whichever thing is better, that's the truth. Don't worry about it. All right, they're testing out the lag. Pedro seems to not be having many problems doing things if they're happy about it. And if they're not, this might be the situation on a day where you just say, tough, we gotta play it out.
Yep, I mean, happens a lot at Winter Showdown. Obviously, we get snow here in Colorado. I was surprised it actually took so long to come in. I heard weather forecasts saying it might be Friday, it might be Saturday, but really only late Saturday that it came in at all. And even today, you know, the roads are not the worst that I've seen in the last month.
Yeah, I do know like people.
But it's
I know
definitely
we're like
always-
kind of making plans that okay, if it snows really bad, we go to the hotel across the street, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, you always got to adapt, and I think that, you know, we already had a bit of a late start in this tournament, not too bad, but trying to accommodate the best we can for everybody who's coming, but also the snow and everything.
Looks like we're getting into it. Looks like they're happy. Thank you, everyone watching, for having a little patience with us while we got things fixed here. But
I mean,
it
I
seems
am
like we're
so
on our way
excited
to getting
watch
into
Pedro
it.
in this game, so
Yeah, this is going to be a match to watch. I'm super hype. I know Pedro has been playing, Pedro Lapis has been playing Benimaru, Iori, and Long, and I do not know who Chevello has been. So unfortunately, that explanation is going to peter out before it begins. But luckily for us, we're watching the screen too. We're going to get to see it as soon as everybody else does.
follow on the thrown in, okay.
He's one of the new characters here. Characters very interesting. Has a lot of strange mechanics. Has a command jump. Has a kind of strangely air-to-ground projectile. Uses those floating hands to throw a paint can, spray paint can from very high in the air. Then it hits the ground and kind of becomes a ground fireball.
I see.
This show.
Platoon, huh? Yeah, this is one of the characters I haven't had much time to check out or get a clue of, and also, you know, a new character, so I can't just be like, oh, well, what was she like in 2002 or 98 or whatever else.
Yeah, she has like this weird pseudo Rekka, this man jump. I'm interested to see someone put some time into that character, pilot her.
Have again the long point.
Is this? Well, apparently it's really, really bad still. All right, so as I'm a simple commentator, all I know how to do is come onto the mic, say words, eat hot chip, and lie. And at this point,
I'm out of hot chips.
Yeah, I'm out of hot chip, but I can definitely lie. So this will be the dishonesty portion of this segment, where I start to say a lot of, no, really though, we're gonna, for now, wait, you know, we have about as much information as you do in Streamland. Our apologies that things are taking so long. We're gonna talk to the competitors. Our streamer is currently going out to see what's going on.
You know,
And we're gonna figure out what's
fault,
happening.
Because I, like, 5 minutes before this match, tried to tell my friends to tune this. And so
Everyone logged in at once, lagged out.
We've had 0 minutes of a match since then because of that, and I'm pretty sure that I cursed it.
Didn't just lag out the stream, it lagged out the entire internet. And the internet was attached to the PS4, you know, and it hit the input delay. Kind of some transitive worship lag. See,
But if you did click on the stream in the last 10 minutes, thank you so much.
yeah, you're a hero. I told you
appreciate
this is the lie portion of the stream. That was all a lie.
Yeah, even if the current situation is a little less than ideal, I'm glad you're here. Fighting KO out. Fresh new game, the hot one that you know everybody's coming. We got some nice long tournament blocks because it is not the fastest game that's ever. That just take a minute.
You know, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this as opportunity to talk about my favorite KOF character. He's a large Canadian man named Maxima. Now, Maxima, big guy, huge pork chop sideburns, giant suit of power armor with a big cannon in the middle of it. Let's talk about what makes Maxima so cool as I desperately stall for time. So Maxima has gained a new move in this KOF. It's a large shoulder tackle. This shoulder tackle has a hit of super armor, is safe on block with spaced. The EX version can be a little bit plus win spaced. And it turns Maxima into this big obnoxious freight train flying across the screen, counter hitting stuff, causing some problems on a day. And then once you get a hit on him, presses his big funny jab, combos it into an EX, and freight trains across the screen like Brawly, putting you in the corner. All right, so Maxima discussion aside, don't worry, stream chat. I know that's what you're here for, the big Maxima lore. But we are going to go into another check here to try to figure out if we can solve the lag issues. So that's what's going on right now. And again, thank you all so much for your patience here. We're, like, as we mentioned before, KOF, very, very big game in Colorado. Kings of Co, super, super dedicated, right? Pedro, the piece, whatever name going by these days, really, really strong competitor. And when you care so much about a game, you do not want to play it in a situation where you feel like you're getting held back by lag, you're getting held back by the system.
And you don't want to win just because, you know, you feel like the other person having some. Want to play a good match and show off what you got.
So we're going to do everything we can, get this set up, and get the match back on stream as soon as possible. Tell them then.
Winner Showdown.
Winner Showdown?
8.
And all we can do here is talk about this big Canadian man named Maxima. So when you're at full screen with Maxima and you have 1 bar and your opponent throws a fireball at you, you can do your funny Maxima trick where you press double quarter circle forward and a kick button, and he will shoot a large lasered beam, as they call it, across the screen. Now, if you did this fast enough with a technique that we like to call a reaction, it'll hit them out of the startup of their fireball and do a large amount of what we call, on professional analysis, damage. Now, when you do enough damage to your opponent, you win the round by reducing their health bar to 0.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, you talking about laser cannons while doing air quotes makes me think of Austin Powers.
He's a Canadian with frickin' laser beams.
In his chest. Not quite a shark, not quite on the head, but you know.
Yeah.
Definitely in the same realm.
Maxima can definitely shark you, though. That character does... He's one of those, oops, haha, I hit you with a button and now I do 90% damage because I had a lot of meters kind of guys. That's the power of Canada.
I understand he was a bit of a menace in 14. I think that he's not considered quite as strong in this game, but he's still Maxima.
I think this is one of the strongest Maximas, I think, in a while, just because
Oh yeah, no,
like,
in 13
the shoulder
he was
tackle,
not very good.
the shoulder tackle does a lot of work. It kind of, it plugs a hole in his neutral where he didn't really have something that advanced him forward in a very threatening way, and a huge unga bunga shoulder check that's either safe or plus. It does quite a grip of damage on hit.
Yeah, no, I think that was very much his struggle in 13. Really only had like the sliding grab and so.
And he still has that too, and it looks kind of similar to the shoulder tackle, right? So if you've put your opponent's mental stack to a sufficient degree where they're looking for other stuff, and they're not really in the exact headspace, because you know you can tell if you're really looking for the difference. But if you're worried about 15 other things, and you don't notice Maxima's flying at you until he is, you might make the mistake, oh, I better jump. This is the dash and grab and get clipped by the shoulder. Or likewise, you think, oh, he's gonna shoulder check me and he's got the spacing for it to be plus or even. I'm just gonna block this, and you get scooped.
Well, I'm glad, because
Maxima deserves it. Maxima's working hard out here.
take him to the corner and paper cannon.
Maxima is working hard out here, raising 2 kids, you know, K-Dash and Kula, picking them up for soccer practice every single day, taking them out for ice cream. He's doing his best. Single father Maxima.
Kula has so many parents.
Yeah. Fighter,
kid.
Maxima, K-Dash.
Foxy.
I'm running out of Maxima bits. All right, so let's start talking about another character we all know and love from King of Fighters 15. That's right. It's Potemkin from Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R. So Potemkin is a grappler with a very large command grab called Potemkin Buster. It's 2 frames and it does a lot of damage. He also has an invincible back dash. Okay, I'm not going to commit to this bit. I think this one gets much less funnier as we go on.
But I think there is something to be said about Maxima having kind of the same aesthetic as Potemkin.
Oh,
He's got a bunch of big metal parts on him. He slides forward and gets you.
he grabs you one time, and then you really have to consider the choices you have made moving forward in this life that we are all sharing here. And just an update on the actual material things happening in this tournament that isn't jokes and or desperate flailing for time. We have achieved a new monitor. We are plugging it in. We're plugging in the PS4 Pro. We are doing everything we can to solve the lag issue as soon as possible. Get matches back on deck. And as soon as we do, as soon as we get that monitor up, as soon as we get matches back up, we're going to get things started again. So I do want to just, you know, anyone who's chilling here, waiting for the matches, being patient with us. Thank you all so much for sticking around and supporting the event. Thank you for watching either way. We just want to get best possible matches for our competitors here.
It really is about the competition. Yeah, we all want to see the best from our players. I think that we have.
Okay, we got the monitor, we got the PS4, we've got it set up, got the good stage. In the next match going, we have Shune here on the screen. Hand back there, about to reach into the fridge for that last handful of shredded cheese at 2 a.m. And once he gets that snack in his mouth, we are going to get this match of KOF 15 going. So thank you once again so much for all of your patience. And we are getting back into it with KOF 15 here at Winter Showdown 8. So a refresher for anyone who might have wandered into the stream in the last 10 or so minutes, we have two very storied competitors from Colorado here. KOF, Keiko Lapis, aka Pedro, a legendary KOF player, won many majors, got top 8 in many more, a storied player, one of the only players to consistently and frequently do Iori Infinite a couple games back. You all know the one, and if you don't, you're probably better off not having to experience the terror of the Rekka Infinite. And oh no, it looks like we are not moving on with Pedro versus. You know, I'm just gonna ask. Okay, so I see. For those of you at home who've been paying attention, this still was the liar portion of the stream, as I said 10 minutes ago, because we're doing a different match. We have KCO Cruz Edgar heading back up. Saw him up here earlier playing, I believe it was Chris, Athena,
and we'll see in a second.
Yeah. Oh, they're just checking the monitor lag first.
I see.
I respect it. If we've been having these issues this whole time, yeah, they want to make sure. They want to make absolutely sure. And you know what? I respect it. After this time, we got to know, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were checking out in training mode. It seemed fine, so they're going right into a real match. It'll work the way they want it. Does this game have the net play stages? You heard anything about that? You know,
yeah,
like
there's some stages that have a little bit more lag issues than others.
I mean, it seems kind of inevitable to make everything look the same.
If we want to talk about stages, I want to talk about this stage. Yeah, Metal Slug stage.
Yeah.
This is a new stage for this game, right? It's very, very, very excellent.
I think so. I mean, I don't know all the stages from. They do a lot of work on the stages every game. It's like Street Fighter 3. I do not know why they got rid of all the Street Fighter Second Impact stages in Third Strike, but
there's a mystery that will never be answered here on this green earth of ours. And it looks like there's a bit more discussion going on. So we might go on a quick break for the stream for a second while we really get things ironed out. Again, for those of us who have for those of you having patience with us, you are legendary. I love and respect you. Thank you so much for chilling around. We will be back after a short break with some more KOF 15 action here at Winter Showdown 8. Take it easy and stay tuned.
right.
Not the good. back to Winter Showdown 8. Thank you so much for your patience, but it seems like we have all of our issues settled up, all of our ducks are in a row, and we're going to get back AOF 15 action.
All right. Ready. And I've been ready. No, I'm really ready.
Incredible readiness, an optimal amount of ready. So,
I mean, yeah, I've been looking forward to this tournament a lot, especially KOF. I mean, like I've been saying, we just have such a strong scene here in Colorado historically. Of course, the out-of-towners coming as well. So much to look forward to.
yeah, these are matches that I personally did not want to miss. So I'm happy that we're getting them in the optimal competitive conditions for our players. And it sounds like we have found a combination of system plus monitor equals good that people are happy with. And that's all I needed to hear, because now I'm getting hype once again. We're getting back into it.
Trying to look at all the soccer theme thing into my headphones, and I'm like, oh yeah, all of that.
Back into the mood for some good KOF.
Man, there was even another amazing KOF story, which is the Smash thing, where Sakurai sent a list of, like every guest character, he sent a list of songs he wanted to put in Smash. Apparently he came with like 50 KOF songs and SNK songs. Sent it to SNK and they like just signed off on all of them.
That's awesome. That's what you love to hear.
Somebody knows how it works.
And that,
At
you know,
SNK.
that's also the other kind of a fork of that story. Famously, or maybe infamously at this point, Sakurai has said that his big inspiration to make like any sort of fighting game at all was KOF. Was it KOF or?
I think it was Fatal Fury.
Fatal Fury, yeah. And that's so you had people saying like, why is Terry Bogard in this game? Who's this guy? And it's just like, and you know, just the dude who inspired Smash to exist at all.
That's right.
So once again, it is the domino effect of a Splash Mountain gone wrong, the existence of Super Smash Brothers.
Right. Right.
All right, teams selected, players sat down, King of Fighters, Winter Showdown 8. Put all those words together and you know you have one heck of a good time. Mai Kula Robert, Yashiro Ralph Chris. I could not be hyper to get back into the action here. So without further ado, KOF.
In this game.
And you know, as we were talking about earlier, Edgar is just a legacy player. He's been playing these games for such a long time that he has so many characters in his back pocket.
Got those.
Round
Worth the
one.
wait.
Ready?
KaniBalito versus Cruz. Saw both of these players earlier, both doing quite a bit of work.
Yeah, and honestly, with their point characters, you can just see they push each other's later characters.
We saw power of KaniBalito's Mai. So much damage already. Already putting.
Doing such a good job of keeping them in the corner.
Yeah, keeping them on the ropes, stuck in the corner, kind of walling them out with these normals, forcing Edgar to make big commitments. That's kind of, you know, in a lot of situations, that's what corner quote-unquote pressure can look like in KOF. Because stuff is so minus all over the place, so hard to establish like really convincing like Guilty Gear anime style pressure, you kind of sit outside the range of your opponent's best button, threaten them with fireballs or blowback. You know, but you saw it happen. Edgar tried to roll out, got thrown back in. Tried to jump out, got hit with an air button. You forced them to make a big commitment.
Yeah, we really saw in that first round, and then now in this round too.
Hard cancel roll though.
KaniBalito doing so much to like pull off every way that you can. I mean, Edgar's getting a little bit going here behind on the second team.
That's a scary place to be. They have a lot of meter, but They do not have a lot of life, and they might be going into their third. What a big read, bionic arm through the button. Getting on the board with Ralph. But exactly what you were saying, even getting this character, the position they're in is quite scary. 0 bars, maybe about to lose Ralph, gonna go into Chris with not only no meter, but a 2 character deficit.
Well, only 1 now, but yeah. He's trying to play patient, but I think that we're not gonna see him get a whole lot more out of this Ralph here.
Nice stuff, the classic from Streets Fireball Shoryu special.
KaniBalito is playing real clean. I mean, he's not just doing the same thing over and over to win. He's really mixing up and calling out all the right moves.
Yeah, and Cruz is on the ropes right now. Pushed in the corner with a 1-bar Chris. 3 bars for KaniBalito. Robert on the stage, very, very strong character with meter. So Edgar's going to have to make something big happen.
Oh, and only a throw punish on that.
Big opportunity maybe left on the table there. A big punish, huge damage. This might just kill, yeah.
I think.
Kick. Goodbye.
I mean, yeah, Robert's so good picking up with his kick stun.
Just the start of a new worldwide legend.
It's like a textbook game there from KaniBalito. So he didn't OCV, it was
Going off I and Robert. This has been such a fun tournament, spectate and commentate so far, because we've seen a lot of different characters and a lot of people playing them in very, very interesting ways, showing off high-level tech, showing off their big combos. This is... KOF's been around forever, but this is a new world of KOF. And seeing these players already so strong, doing such big damage, such smart neutral, it's really just a joy to watch as somebody who's traditionally not played a whole lot of KOF and is just getting into it recently. It's very, very exciting to see legacy players showing off their learned skill.
Yeah, and you know, Edgar finally getting a big combo there. You know, he didn't have a lot of meter to cash out, but he's still like showing the damage and looking like he has a good chance to take this round for not lose the character gain right away.
Fortunately,
but KaniBalito just so strong with the anti-air. Stand deep, high. Very good move.
KaniBalito has been really, really good at following in that slow-moving fan, controlling the space, and just making it really, really, really hard for Edgar to make it in a safe way.
Yep, very much so. But I mean, Edgar now spacing pretty well with Ralph here. If KaniBalito can get one more good combo in for the round in.
Oh, what a grab punish. Goes for the load, doesn't finish the play though. All right, 3A, the anti-air.
That should get Edgar almost all of his life back. That's going again.
Yeah, about the same amount of meter too. This is anyone's game right now. 5D.
Just so dominating. Very hard to challenge.
Excuse me, Garçon, may I get another 5D, please? Waiter.
Yeah, this is like
my table, it
5D.
has no 5D. KOF on motorcycles. Showing off what makes Ralph so dominant in this game right now.
Oh, he wants to get through,
a little
but it's
slow.
A little too slow to react.
Big punish. One thing about KOF is a lot of times you're big, and this is, you know, true for other games, but like using Guilty Gear as an example, you can clip someone with just like a fast normal, and if your conversion is clean, get a ton of damage just off of neutral situations. KOF, a lot of your damage comes from stuff like that, just from punishes. And you see those big max mode combos coming out from a super punish.
Well, and I like, you know, KaniBalito, even though he didn't have enough meter to do a super finisher on that max mode combo, he just takes the damage. He doesn't want to leave that opportunity up on the. And it pays off because he takes the round.
Absolutely. There's really something to be said about just, even if you're not finishing it there, saying, if you do something like that, I am waiting to kill you for it. And we talked about it earlier, but getting that fear into your opponent's head is so big in a game like it.
That's right. I mean, I think that it's much scarier to represent certain options. You know, the other player might just take 70% ace.
Yeah, exactly. Like, aggression and doing a lot of stuff, moving around a lot is so good in KOF that if you can do anything to kind of make your opponent a little bit more scared, a little bit more willing to chill, it can have very strong long-term rewards.
That jump CD from Chris hit so low that I think that KaniBalito is not ready.
It is a belligerent button. ACD of the gods.
One of the deep jump-ins I've ever seen in life.
Nice anti-air reversal.
Doing a very good job of just cutting out cool options. This is a
Big
cute
jump in. Enough meter for super. That's gonna kill.
Wow, 2-0, but it was, that second game was so close.
What a stellar fight!
I don't know if that was winners or not. I would have to think it is though, because both of those players have looked very strong today.
That was a hype set. And that super clean optimization with that last Kula combo.
Yep, barely made it, but that's all you need is the last hit.
That's another thing that's really, really cool about KOF is that the routing, once you have a lot of meter, is very open. You know, the combo system, all about
very
EX launchers with like, you have your moves that give you the juggle state. You have your moves that can continue the juggle at the cost of meter. And you have your stuff that it's the special you end your string with, and then you can cash out with a super or not. Very, very simple, very intuitive, but the way the puzzle pieces link together is so freeform for so many characters that you have a lot of options with how you want to spend the meter, how much you want to spend on each particular route in each particular situation. And because meter is a resource that carries over characters, the long-term decision-making and how you structure your damage and combos is really, really important.
Well, and that's why you gotta love those final characters, because you know that people can put it all out on the line if they know they can get the win. Like, just watch people cash out, 4 meters, and it's like, whoa, they died on that one hit.
Yeah. And especially if you see that situation like on character 2, that's someone saying, I think I can, and I think I can get the next character without any meters after this. I think I will be in a situation where I am comfortable going in maybe a character up but 0 meters. I think this is the way I'm going to win. And, maybe that decision is right. Maybe it's wrong, but it's a decision that they are free to make. And that freedom in player expression is something that's so cool about King of.
Yeah, and I think that just, in the way that people approach the game or in the way that, they maybe don't like a matchup, want to get it out of the way. There's so many options. You can see players who don't play the same in every matchup because, they just, will decide different things about the player they're playing. That they're trying to win, whatever.
Yeah, and it's just very fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to analyze. Like, this is a very, very interesting spectator game because those sort of decisions are so important over a set of 3 characters. It's very interesting to try to think, what would I have done? Would I have spent meter more efficiently? Would I have made that choice? And is that better than the choice that I would have made?
And it's always just so explosive when you get down to it. You're always, like, waiting for that moment where it all blows up and something really exciting happens. Even that waiting itself is exciting because you get to see people playing patient in the first round and then really turn up the heat. Or even wait the final round or any number of things.
Just such a joy to spectate. I'm really, really excited about the future of KOF 15. I'm already lost in the sauce with this game.
I mean, the fact that they put in the rollback.
Shoutouts to rollback netcode.
And I think that we're going to see, another game like Strive where people taking it to another level because they can play so much before.
Rollback netcode with good training mode in 2022 is the hyperbolic time chamber. Like back in the day with older games, not only was, there not good netcode, there was often just not netcode at all. Back in the PS2 era, you're playing Accent Core Vanilla. you're not net playing with anybody. Net play doesn't exist yet, and the training mode sucks. So you have to do your best to figure out how to play your character in suboptimal conditions with your best resource being a game facts thread being written by a stoner at 4 a.m.
And you know, Nico videos that are in like 140p.
15.5p. You gotta guess which pixel is Soul Bad Guy and which is Milia.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well that combo is probably this combo if I can figure out how it works.
That might be good, assuming that that's the combo and not the health bar. Like, it was tough. It was tough to find the resources to learn things. But now we are living in maybe the second golden age of tournament fighting games where not only do you have access to high-level matches 24 hours a day, you have rollback netcode so the net play is good, and you have very involved training modes with pages and pages of useful options, recording settings. You can set the computer to do reversals.
Absolutely.
You can set specific sequences that will be done randomly by a computer so that you can lab defensive situations. It's a great, great time to be a fighting game player.
And I mean, yeah, you have on top of that all the wikis and stuff. I know that Discord is kind of the main hub of activity, but there's people working hard to keep everything, you know, archived in a permanent and accessible way on the wikis.
Yeah, wikis have basically become encyclopedias written by fighting game players for fighting game players.
We're hearing some Tekken screaming over there. So we're going to have, it looks like a Kula mirror match in the first round of this next game with Deus.
I couldn't think of a cooler mirror match in all of fighting games.
How are you going to go through Winter Showdown without one Kula mirror match?
Yeah,
Seems
this
like
is
it
the Winter
shouldn't be
Showdown
legal, so.
Classic, the iconic Winter Showdown mirror, and this is top 8 losers.
All right, I think match to get into it?
Match to
Maybe,
get into it.
yeah.
It's to get into top 8 losers.
So this is a lot on the line here. I mean, I don't think itself is in the money, but it's a good benchmark to make it in for the first turn for a new game.
Yeah, exactly, especially at a new tournament like this. It feels really, really good to say, I entered the first tournament, I got top 8.
And both these players have looked real strong on their Kula. I like the different approaches as well. We've seen them both play patient, but also very rushdown focused. We can just see Deus like making so much out of that corner pressure. Nearly winning the round.
Big Abare, but no punish.
If that combo hadn't dropped, that would have been even closer rounds.
That's,
but a big
those
win
are
for
the
Deus
linchpin
in the
moments,
mirror
right?
match.
Deus versus Crackin Atkins. We've seen both of these players earlier. Both of them very, very, very strong.
Yeah, I'm liking both of them are bringing to the table, and Crackin Atkins going for a reset there that catches an air-to-air, but very strong on the way.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage off of the Diamond's health bar, but this hit's really, really nice. You know, when you're up a character, you want to get at least one more big combo so that when things get evened up, you're ahead on life. And Deus,
yeah.
they did a very good job of not spending a lot of bar. Or for Ash Crimson, a character that becomes lopsidedly better once they have enough to turn their Crouching B into Green Man Super into an entire health bar.
We'll see if Deus is confident to go for it, but this could definitely be a very quick round in to land the big hit. Or even a small hit that goes into a big hit.
Yeah, that's one of like Ash's biggest advantages, at least in my mind, in this current KOF is some characters do very good jobs at cashing out meters when they get a good hit or a good punish. Ash basically gets, if you have the hand-breaking routes, 100% life just off of jabs. It doesn't matter what the hit is. If they're ready to pop max mode and enter Green Man, it's over. We'll see if Deus has them on deck.
Well, we're definitely seeing the zoning battle that you would expect from these characters as well. A lot of trying to neutralize each other's firewalls and not getting too aggressive to go into some hit really hard.
I like this. They're not actually popping that big confirm. They're saying, I am confident that I can get through this character, maintain this meter, and use it on the third.
And that was a very good finishing combo from Deus.
Yeah, and they were right. They got to this third character with the bar for it.
I was playing Deus in Ultra Street Fighter 4 yesterday, and this is a super strong guile. I think this is a style of play that they're very comfortable with.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling real good right now. Oh, EX, are we going to see more meter expenditure? No.
Still does not go into max mode or on Gelato or anything. Just trying to keep that pressure on and play a pacing game. I think, yeah, there's definitely that feeling that they're trying to play it patient, and you know, if it takes the last character to win, you still get a win.
Yeah, and they've gotten so much mileage just off of very simple crouch BB EX flash kick confirms.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's working, you don't gotta change it up very.
This is, if your name is Crackin Atkins right now, you gotta be stressed out. 5% life against Ash Crimson with the power of EX fireballs.
So many EXs in a row. I mean, that's a different one in this game compared to 13. It used to cost so much meter to throw that out, and you didn't want to spend it like that on Ash, but just really being the way to win and taking it there for days. You see Deus there just like talking about it even now.
And like, that sort of stuff, depending on the character, feels, you mentioned the EX stuff is not something you could really efficiently do in older KOFs, but there's some characters in this game that can dump EXs as the last character in truly obnoxious ways. One that comes to mind to me is Joe. Mr. Joe Higashi with the 3-hit fireball that goes across the ground and is also as tall as fireballs you can't slide under.
They just cost twice as much in 13. In this game, it's a very efficient use in a lot of cases.
You get 10 EX fireballs with Joe Higashi, and if your opponent tries to jump any of them when you have 3+ bars, you're full screen Hyper Viper Beam and kill them on the spot. Anchors in this game are so scary and so cracked. Alright, Kula Diamond Mirror. Back on the TV.
Very nice DP there from Crackin. Really resetting the situation, getting a lot of space again. And a life lead.
Yeah, that's everything you want to see off of meter expenditure for a reversal. An interesting thing about that was the EX reversal moved so far forward, it actually side-swapped and put the opponent in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, what could you want more than that? Game.
Ooh, only getting 1 hit, so it didn't knock down?
Great punish. Looking so much more ready this game than he did in the first game.
A really great start for Crackin
This
Atkins.
would be a very different match than the first one.
Especially because Kula does have that anti-fireball. So against a character like Ash Crimson.
Yeah, he's not going to feel very comfortable just running away and trying to throw fireballs himself.
But
Kula's
it
going
seems
to have the answers.
Seems like Deus is perfectly all right getting in there with Ash.
Yeah, he's showing some good stuff right now. Again, going for the cheap combos, but very efficient win that's still going to get him basically all of his life back.
They're doing super good. Ash instantly evening it out. And they get another 2 confirm. Getting so much incremental damage off of 2 EX flash kick.
Well, and I would imagine that, you know, whether or not Deus has practiced a bunch of the longer Ash combos, it makes sense if you're in a tournament, you're trying to get top 8. You don't want to go for the thing you're not sure about. Like, if they're comfortable doing, you know, the simple EX flash kick combo, oh my gosh.
Shout out to the PlayStation 4.
You know, if they're comfortable with it, you just gotta keep doing it. It's gonna win you the game. It's gonna win you the game. You can worry about the big stuff later.
X. All right, one more mix-up situation. Doesn't quite believe in the 2P.
Oh, no, too late on the
low.
punish on the flash kick.
Ensme X is going underground. Break the law from Guilty Gear. Hunt up 2B.
And you can see, yeah, Crackin Atkins is really trying to avoid even blocking the fireballs at this point.
Run up grab.
But Deus runs up and gets the grab.
Burn, says Ash Crimson.
I mean, this is still much closer to the first game. Why? Has a chance, but it's gonna have to work for it. Ash is not nearly empty on life.
Nice punish on the roll there. Deus on top of things, goes for the low again. Guard cancel, does not want to be in this situation.
Yeah, just feeling done with that. But I mean, again, Ash, with all this meter, is just neutralizing Mai's like ability to play the fireball game. Crackin Atkins is seeing a lot of pressure to go in. Not easy.
Nice jumping normal, controlling the space. Forced to block that fan. The bounce so good, letting Crackin Atkins move in, force Deus into the corner, and they spend meter on the EX dash, trying to bully their way out.
Crackin Atkins is trying to finish this match for free, and spins ultimately the guard cancel blowback, but still in a pretty good spot meter-wise. Life is going to be a difficult question.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make the most out of those 2 meters, but as we've seen earlier today, Mai is a character that can spend a small amount of bar to get a large amount of damage. Critical drop though, but life bars closer to even. I'm not gonna say they're the same, but Crackin Atkins is in a position where it looks like they may be able to punch up.
It's
This is how it would start.
possible now. It was a big conversion, even though they didn't quite get the finisher.
We have a return to the mythical land of full screen zoning. Wow, what a read! Deus,